So, I'm going to be sharing some information to you all. I'm not going to go as deep as I was going to go in this because this conversation is about the eclipse today. But at another time in the future, I will be going deeper into some of these things. But this is what I feel like is very important for people to know right now. I may or may not be checking my messages. This channeled information is going to be channeled to you. And hopefully you can take this and use this. But let me be very clear about something. The August 12th eclipse, solar eclipse today, is one of the most transformational portals I have seen since the Saturn Uranus positioning. So, if you know a little bit about astrology and if you're paying attention to what's happening in the world, you will see a lot of overlap with the Civil War, with the Revolutionary War, with World War One and Two. You're going to see a lot of overlap, and that overlap is because of the astrology. You're also going to see a lot of things that was happening during those times happening again. Now, I can't say everything that I want to say to y'all, so I'm going to move through this information fairly quickly, and I'm going to make the replay available after the eclipse is over because this portal doesn't close when the eclipse ends. Okay? Look at this as a 6-month or longer pregnancy. We're all going to be seeded with something. And if you are unconscious of the energies that are taking place, it's going to be more difficult for you to make sure that you are being seeded with the energy that's going to be beneficial for you. So I don't know who you are and how you found me, but hopefully your heart chakra is open enough to receive this information because this just might be some of the most important things I have ever shared. So let me give you a breakdown. The current energies of August 12th is a cosmic trio portal. So with this Trinity energy, let me explain it. There's a rare planetary alignment. It's 6 planets that are in alignment today as of August 12th, 2026. That's Jupiter, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. They form a rare geometric line across the morning sky. This is not a perfect straight line in 3D space, but this is a geocentric, heliocentric visual grouping that creates a massive synchronic resonance across the planet. It acts as a gravitational slingshot for the collective consciousness. It compresses karmic timelines and enforces rapid, irreversible shifts. So if shit is starting to happen in your life and you're like, whoa, what is going on? I'm going to reveal to you the Akashic deeper meaning behind a lot of the things happening personally and collectively. Thank you for liking this live. I don't make people like my live and be like, hit the heart me and all of that shit people be saying. I don't even know what none of that shit mean. But if you see stuff on the screen and you want to give back because you're receiving something that you feel like is useful, please make sure that you reciprocate. Now, the total solar eclipse in Leo, August 12th, I don't know why not, hardly nobody is talking about this. So I was getting ready to go into meditation, and me and my spirit team had a conversation, and they were just like, Camson, this is for you to talk about. So I be relying on the spiritual community to do what they do, but some things is just not going to be given to other people. So this is the heart of the portal. This is a new moon solar eclipse, and it's in the sign of the sun, which is ruled by Leo. Y'all, this is like so much Leo energy right now. Eclipses are fate accelerators. They overwrite the old default programming of your ego. Did you hear that? You're being overwritten. The old default programming of your ego is being overwritten. If you resist this, if you get triggered and you go back to responding in ways that are a reflection of your wounded ego, then you're going to accelerate your timeline to be one of chaos, one that's rooted in everything that is connected to the wounded ego. Okay, it's problem after problem after problem, drama, 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 trauma, 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 trigger, 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 issues, 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 and it just turns into a fucking avalanche of shit that you don't want to be happening. And I don't want that for y'all. Okay, so make sure that you're keeping your nervous system in check. I uploaded a video last night about the nervous system and 2 herbs that you can use. And I broke down all of the planetary correspondence and how it can work for you. And I'm someone who is super sensitive to energy. So most of the things that people be saying, get this and take this and this will do this for your nervous system. None of that shit worked for me. It actually made me feel tired. So I don't methylate vitamins well. It's just, that's a whole other conversation. And I will eventually get into that because people who are sensitive to energy like us, our body and nervous system is truly wired different. And it's not one size fit all. All right. So with Leo, it's targeting your creative identity and your inner child and your sovereign will. It is demanding for us to shed masks that we have been wearing for 19 years. That was the last Leo eclipse cycle 19 years ago. So what did you have going on in your life 19 years ago? 9 times out of 10, if it was something you did not heal 19 years ago, it's going to be coming up right now. Okay? So I would say 2007, even leaning into 2008, because eclipse energy lingers. And before this eclipse, I had already told my partner that I felt like I was living in 2008 and I couldn't figure out why. And now I know why, and I'm sharing it with you. Now, we also have the Perseid meteor shower that's happening on August the 12th through the 13th tonight. So under perfectly dark new moon sky, the Perseids rain down 50 to 100 meteors per hour. In metaphysics, meteors are soul seeds. They're broken fragments of cosmic matter that carry pure unmanifested potential. So when they fall during an eclipse, they act as instant manifestors. Every wish or intention that you set during this peak is going to be blasted into the morphic field with a lot of velocity. So I want you to drive your mind and your willpower in the direction that you desire to go. Focus on the things that you desire in your life, not the undesirable things. Okay? Ignore that shit. It's time for us to be wishing on a star. Okay? And that's what this energy is giving us. The next thing that's important for you to know is that this gateway, this portal opened on July 26th, which is the galactic new year. That is because of the alignment of Sirius, the alignment of us being in Orion's belt, and the alignment of the sun and Leo. Those 3 placements create a Stargate portal. So this opened on the 26th, but to have an eclipse happening on August 12th, right after that, that's like portal after portal after portal. The universe is saying, look, y'all wanted the opportunity to shift the paradigm. Here it is. And I'm not just going to give you 1 opportunity. I'm not just going to give you 2. I'm not just going to give you 3, but we're just going to keep giving and giving. The universe is really giving us an opportunity right now. Do not miss this. All right. So the lions, which I call the lioness gate portal, because it's a lot of feminine energy that's reconstructing the world right now. This began on 8/8. Now I gave y'all a ritual and a ceremony that you could do with your feet. Okay, if you missed it, go back and look at it. so much of this stuff I give for free, but the full ritual is on my Patreon, and it starts off at for $1. Okay. With Jupiter in Leo, that expands the sun's solar fire. So this gateway is not just the download. This shit is a full-scale firmware upgrade of humanity's heart chakra. Okay? And Mama Earth is heart chakra energy. Now let me get into the alchemical synthesis of this. This 6-planet alignment is clearing Saturn energy. So this planetary geometry acts as a cosmic pressure washer. So Saturn, which is structure, Uranus, which is rebellion, and Neptune, which is illusion, are all engaged simultaneously. This is breaking up a 6.2 hertz fear loop that I have been discussing in some of my previous videos. So this is forcing buried ancestral trauma, race, identity, and tribal memory to the surface in mass so that it can be burned away by the Leo solar fire. This is why um so much content is about foundational Black Americans, Native Americans, Indigenous Americans, the difference between the two. What is a Negro? Did everybody come from Africa on a slave ship? Were some of us already here? We're hearing a lot of information around ancestral trauma, race identity, tribal memory, and we're also seeing a lot of what we would call the supremacy order of the YT. We also see a pushback from them. Okay. So this is because of this frequency fear loop that is being broken open. It's being cracked open. Now, during this time, some of us may have many Kundalini awakenings. And when I say that, I mean the calcification of the pineal gland is something that's broken up by Kundalini energy. The calcification of the pineal gland is what's called coal. Okay, in the whole Santa Claus story, and if you a bad kid, he bring you coal and put it in your little sock that you hang up to put gifts in your stocking. Okay, that is a story that is symbolic of the metaphysical coal that is created in the Negrito phase of alchemy inside of the pineal gland. That is being broken up. Our pineal gland is healing. This is why we're learning what foods to eat and what not to eat, what water to drink and what not to drink. What, like previous generations were not concerned about their pineal gland. Okay. So if that's you, welcome to the woke side of Earth. Okay. So collectively, our pineal gland is being supercharged right now and heated, and it's probably going to crack away some type of calcification that negatively impacts your perception. Okay. And for those of us who've already been doing this work on ourselves, the pineal gland is going to go into a diamond phase where this eclipse is going to cause it to vibrate. Okay. And it's going to be vibrating so fast at a frequency and receiving these light codes, downloads, that's if you're in alignment to receive it, it looks like a diamond if you were to look at it energetically. Okay. Now, the solar eclipse, this is the death of the old self. Now, I have a funeral that and a eulogy that you can use for your old self to give your old self a proper burial. I've been doing this for many years. That's on my Patreon, and you might even can find that on my old YouTube channel if you search my name with false self funeral. Okay. You don't have to, but if you're new to me, like this is not new, we've been doing this. And so when you know that you are releasing your false self, that this is the death of the false self, when you know that, just having it in your awareness is going to shift things. But let's talk about something that's a sensitive topic for some people. Unlike the Saturn Plutonic transits during the Civil War or when Hitler had his era, it was heavy. It was a slow and energy grounded in territory. So this is why it was a lot of issues over territory and whose land belongs to who. Now, this eclipse is a cardinal fire Uranus Neptune energy. So it's not asking us to fight our identity. It's asking you to incinerate the false versions of your identity. Okay? So, like, if you study root race theory, you know there are considered to be 7 root races based on a lot of anthroposophical information. And so each race, the root races, are assigned to certain planets. Now, like I said, I will probably get into that in another video, but I want to stay focused on the planetary celestial alignment that is creating this Stargate for us. So we're not being asked to fight for our identity. That's what those previous things that I mentioned were about. Okay. We're actually incinerating a false version of it. So a lot of people are going to finally accept the fact of who they really are today and moving forward. This eclipse is dissolving the legal administrative labels like Negro, like Black, like African American, Native, Caucasian. All of these things, it is what it is doing. It's just stripping away the things that cause confusion and leaving the bare bones of what things really are. And so, with this dissolving of legal and administrative labels, of course, those who are in higher positions of making laws and changes to the way society operates, they study astrology. So, this is how they choose the dates for the things that they do. I have never known a billionaire who did not study astrology. I have yet to see a successful person who did not study astrology. And yes, that includes people in monotheistic religion. They study astrology, they just don't tell everybody else that they study it. But if you study it, you see how people and things and politics move, and you will see this is attached to the astrology. Okay. Now, if you have, for anybody who is attached to victimhood or superiority at this moment, they might fall into a psychological crisis. If that's you, then of course, there are some things that you can do to help pull you out of those mindsets. And it is really easy to get in a victimhood mindset. I mean, if you walk outside and a bird shit on your head, and as soon as you pull out the driveway, you damn near run into somebody's garbage can. And then by the time you get off your street, you damn near get hit by a truck. And after those things happen, you might start feeling like you are a victim and something is fucking targeting you and something is after you. It's easy to happen to anybody. It don't even have to be that extreme. It can be small stuff. You could drop your cup of tea, and then now you got a big spill on the floor that you got to clean up. So now you're going to be late to your appointment that you're going to. I mean, it only takes like little small things to throw people off who are psychologically sensitive to energy. This is why creating resilience, healing your nervous system, learning how to shift yourself into parasympathetic states, learning how to know when you're in survival mode, you're operating in fight or flight before you even start taking actions, before your behavior says it. This is why policing yourself is key. Okay. So if you are aligned, instead of having a psychological crisis, and we're going to see a lot of that. Okay, for anybody who's been operating in supremacy over other people, we're going to see psychological crises happening in mass. All right. But if you are somebody who has been living intentionally, then this is going to feel like a burden being removed off of you. So this is not just a negative thing. I'm not here to share doom and gloom, but y'all do not see me on TikTok at this time of day sharing anything. So you know it must be important. Okay. Now, let's go back to the meteor shower. So I told y'all to make y'all wishes tonight. With Jupiter and Leo, that's a greater benefic in the sign of manifestation. That's super powerful, y'all. Every meteor becomes a photon of intentionality. So this is the universe handing you a blank check, but only for intentions that align with your authentic dharma, not your ego's desires. Your authentic dharma is that higher I divine self aspect of you and the experiences that's attached to you being that version of yourself. Okay. It actively rejects frequencies that are below 200. That's according to Hawkins' emotional frequency chart. I've shared that a lot in the past. If that's new to you, go check it out and look it up. If you love saying things like high vibe or wanting to be high vibe, well, if you have a map for vibrations of different emotions, then that awareness and that knowledge will allow you to move through life with more wisdom. Okay. So if you are wishing for revenge or feeling superior to people, anybody who is in that energy right now, the meteor, it is going to like destroy whatever wavelength is created by that type of energy. And that's a positive thing. Okay. That means that people operating in that vibrational frequency, they're going to get what they're operating in. Okay. Now, if you hope for unity, for healing, for truth, then implant that seed directly into your cellular memory today and tonight. Speak it into your cellular memory. Our cells have ears, they listen to our vibration. Okay. So speak that into your cellular memory. Now, let me go over the epigenetics and the morphic field. This August portal is a collective demethylation event. Okay, so the sixth planet alignment is generating a high frequency standing wave and it scans the human genome. It scans our DNA, y'all. And it targets FKBP5, which is the gene that holds the traumatic imprints. And the biophotons during this time is rewriting that imprint in our DNA. Okay, because of all of this energy that's being offered to us. So the morphic field is like a collective aura around groups of people. Okay, so the morphic field, this is a previous conversation and other teachings that I've done on Patreon. But just to give you this for now, the morphic field of the Americas, especially the quote unquote Black, Siberians, natives, there's a karmic knot that's been created between certain groups, around certain groups. And this karmic knot is being retuned. A 6.2 hertz dissonance, because we've been operating in dissonance, division, chaos, not unity. Okay. So we're being retuned to operate in 7.83 hertz, which is Mama Earth's resonance. That's a Schumann coherence. It's the same as the heart. However, since July 26th, Mama Earth's Schumann resonance has been off the charts, where it just go completely white. That means that she is doing a mass purge at this moment. And so, for all of us whose feet are connected to Mama Earth, and hopefully that's everybody that find this video, we're being impacted by that frequency being kicked up like that. Okay. So this is how the DNA is being going through a morphogenesis, a cellular memory restructuring. Okay. So many people talk about these things, but they don't really explain them. So I'm explaining the metaphysics and the spiritual workings behind these things. Okay, so you can expect to sometimes feel like you just need to forgive somebody or forgive yourself when the frequency shifts like this. Or on the opposite end, you might have moments where you just get heated and get pissed off and have a meltdown. And if that happens, that's data, that's information that lets you know that something inside of you is resisting this activation. You want to get that resistance out the way. It could be the wounded inner child that it's afraid to go into these new energies, this new elevation, these new frequencies. You want to get that wounded inner child and be like, look, I got you. Hey, little my, or whatever you call your inner child. Sis, princess, baby, I got you. I know this is new. I know that you feel what's happening in my cellular DNA, even when I'm not aware of it. You feel it. You're inside of me. I'm going to take care of you. Sometimes you got to soothe and calm your own ego down. We got to stop expecting other people to behave in ways that's going to allow us to feel good. Okay? Feeling good is your responsibility, it's not anybody else's. And other people are not responsible for when we're not feeling good. Even if they did some shit that was hurtful, it's still your responsibility to keep yourself a vibrational match for the version of you desire to be. Don't ever give that responsibility to somebody else. So if you catch yourself saying, well, you made me say that, well, you made me do that, that's being in a position of victimhood. I talked about that earlier. Don't let yourself get there in that space and stay there, because it's a sunken place. That shit is a sinking hole. When these portals are open, if you go down into one of those holes, you gonna be like Alice in Wonderland. That was those movies and cartoons were documentaries. And once you go through that portal of that emotional frequency, and whatever things are a vibrational match for you being in victimhood, you will attract that outside of you in the world. Now, I have been blessed to be able to do all of this work and do a lot of self reflection, a lot of inner work, a lot of mirror work. I don't have to go out and be among people when I don't want to most of the times. And this is to keep me in a position to be in integrity as the spiritual teacher that I am. Okay. And thank y'all for the love. I see y'all. Okay, some people in here. I didn't think nobody would get on here. I'm never on here at this time. So I'm grateful for each and every one of y'all. And thank you for those of you who've been giving me likes. I really appreciate that, because this is not easy. This is not easy. Connecting all of these dots and being able to explain this in a simple way is not easy. But I hope that I'm doing it some justice, and I hope that I'm making it make sense. Now, let me go into theosophical um anthroposophy. Let me go into some of that, because it all ties in with the astrotheology. So 440 hertz, that is what it's dissonant, it's chaotic. So all of entertainment has to be attuned to 440 hertz. Now, entertainment is entering into entrainment. You see how they just move the letters around? When words are anagrams for each other or very similar, it's revealing the spell work that's been done behind that word in the etymology. Okay, so 440 hertz, everything that we listen to on the radio, 440 hertz, everything that we watch at the movies, 440 hertz. So the eclipse in Leo amplifies the sun's fundamental frequency. So the sun's frequency is 126.22 hertz. So for those who are still entrained to the media's 440 hertz artificial grid, this is going to create severe electromagnetic dissonance inside of them. So they will have an uptick in headaches, vertigo, ringing in the ears, emotional dysregulation. Is this intentional? You ask. I talk about that on my Patreon. Okay. But to use a frequency that creates entrainment and that creates chaos inside of our nervous system is something that will make us miss these portals. So if you want to be the person who says, no, I'm a sovereign being and I'm going to move through this portal and I'm going to create this new timeline for myself. And one action at a time, I'm going to get there. If you are that soul and you're determined to do that, just know, just knowing this is going to help you to do that. Okay? So now y'all know what the frequency of the sun is and what the frequency of all of. If you can find music like that, it would behoove you to actually be bumping that throughout the day. That will help you as well to remove the electromagnetic dissonance. And I have an album called Protecting My Peace, streaming on all platforms, and everything that I wrote in those songs is very high vibrational. Okay. Now, in Ahriman is what you could say is the egregore or archetypal energy. Ahriman is an energy that is heavily connected to transhumanism as well. So you're going to hear me say the Ahrimanic grid. Okay? That's how I'm going to explain that. So the Ahrimanic grid is fighting back against this mass awakening being offered to us. The remedy for this is grounding. That can be using a grounding sheet in your home or walking barefoot, exposure to the sun during dawn, and also beneficial during sunset, and intentionally listening to things like 432 hertz, 528 hertz frequency music so that you can ride the wave instead of drowning in it. Because a lot of people are going to drown in this wave. I'm just letting y'all know to be aware so that you are not shocked or shook when you see shit happening, and you could be like, you know what? Camps and Untamed Oracle said, this is going to be happening. And I'm glad that I heard that message because I'm mentally prepared and I'm not going to allow the dissonance outside of me to disrupt my internal frequency. Okay. Now, let's get into Santos Bonacci and some of his teachings. If you've never heard of him, look him up. Like y'all clearly can tell I read a lot and I'm into, I devour consciousness every day. It's part of my daily diet. But Santos Bonacci, he's just one of my most favorite humans to listen to teach. He's so far ahead of his time, but he talks about the furnace. And Bonacci explained this. So the whole Santa Claus thing, that's really supposed to be a representation of solar crystals. And the coming down the chimney is your spine. Okay. And so if your pineal gland is calcified, then you will perceive the things that you see happening in the world in your life as my life is ending, the world is burning, this is the end of the world, this is the apocalypse, it's all bad, and essentially end up in nihilism. Okay, the literal fires, the political chaos, all of that. And this is not to shame anybody because all of us are in different stages of our healing journey, and it's not linear, it's spherical. Okay, so sometimes you think you heal something and you go right back around to it again, and that's okay as long as you keep learning. So, saying that to say this, as you are able to perceive Aquarian energy and connect what you're seeing to a new beginning instead of just focusing on an ending, and also in your own life. So you will get what you focus on. If you cannot change what's happening in front of you, the one thing that you can change that can alter the outcome is shifting your focus. So, what are you going to pay the most attention to? All right. I want y'all to remember that as we're planting these seeds, I'm teaching you Stargate transmutation. That's ultimately what I'm teaching you. How to move through these stargates. Okay. So this is a purification of all this old racial territorial tension. It's a lot of purification happening over that. Now, let me give you the tips to move through this energy and summarize it. Okay, I'm coming to the end of this video so that I can get back to my rituals and meditation before this eclipse happens. Because I definitely am not going back to the old version of me. And I don't, nobody should. Every day, the goal is to be a better version of yourself. And you feel really good about yourself when you know that that's your goal. It's a million other places y'all could be right now. Y'all are some special souls to be here. I just want to let y'all know that in case ain't nobody told y'all. Y'all are really special to be here right now. That says a lot about you. And it's almost like you're declaring to the universe, I'm not gonna be distracted. When something is resonant with my soul, I'm tapping in. And so y'all tapping and tapping in right now. Or whenever you catch this. But for those of you who caught this live, yeah, I'm proud of y'all. Because I'm not easy to find. So let's get into it. Practical guidance. Surrender to the timeline. Stop trying to predict how things will change. The eclipse hides the future for a reason. Trust in the process, trust in the sacred geometry within your cellular memory, okay? Because we have soul contracts and we have alarms that are set for specific things to unlock at specific times, but it has to happen under specific conditions. So if you are using this knowledge, you will be in the conditions that are going to give you the highest potential to be able to actually have a wish come true. All right. Now, meditate. Facing the east is a good way to meditate if you're meditating as soon as you wake up, okay, towards the rising sun. Consciously breathe into your pineal gland. This is called pineal breathing. Imagine that each breath that you take is moving through your pineal gland. Each exhale is clearing out the pineal gland. Super simple. Everything that I teach is super simple but powerful. You can also visualize the meteor showers washing over your crown chakra, your skull, dissolving the graphite and the heavy metals and the graphene and all the things that have been used to try to suppress this spiritual awakening that's happening anyway. You could just visualize the meteor showers washing over you. This is allowing yourself to gain cosmic consciousness, to not feel separate from Mama Nature and the cosmos, okay? Now, you can also write a burning letter, write down any identity labels, racial things like ancestral traumas that you want to release. So a lot of us are starting to deal with the Black's Law Dictionary and learning a lot of things that are happening in the world and seeing it in a different way. You might want to collectively do some healing work to burn something away. Maybe something you're seeing in the media. Maybe some of us are tired of seeing strange fruit, and maybe we want to write a burning letter to release that from happening and help the souls to cross over who have unfortunately been a part of this narrative under this astrological positioning. And you can mentally burn it. You could write it in your mind and mentally burn it. I'm teaching you mental magic as well. And imagine it as being burned. You don't always have to do things physically. Because of the different chronic illnesses that I deal with, sometimes I'm physically unable to do certain rituals and things that I want to do, ceremonies. And so I visualize them. It's just as powerful. You might want to declare that you are not a label. You are not the hats that you wear and the roles that you play, but you are a whole motherfucking frequency that came to shift the timeline and the paradigm. I don't know, get jiggy with it, whatever you feeling. What they say, put a little Riz in it. But that's how I would say it. But how would you say it? And just make you a declaration. The last but not least, hydrate and ground. The electrical charge of this alignment is intense. Sleep may not come easy. You may feel sleepier in the day than at night. That is normal when you're going through this cellular metamorphosis. Okay. So drink mineral rich water, eat root vegetables that helps you to be anchored to the earth. And to prevent Uranus chaos from fully taking over your nervous system, use the nervous system tips that I have been sharing. And I also have a free 90-second nervous system guide that's available on my website. I just saw a star or something pop up. Thank you, Royal. I have never seen it before in a life. When I tell you, I don't really be getting a whole lot of love in my lives, but I keep giving. But that just made my day. Thank you. That was beautiful. Um, and so let me give you one last thing before I go, because giving is one of my love languages. But I'm learning how to receive, obviously. So I definitely appreciate that. So with this portal, y'all, this portal is the antidote to what happened like around 1860 with slave ship Jesus and so forth. Okay. 1940s with the energy of the hollow, it cost us a lot karmically as a people. Those eras used the Saturn Pluto in earth energy. So water was used to entrench racial division. And this is why a lot of people who are involved in racial crimes, names will have something like water or well, or it will be happening in places near water or in places that are named, Silver Springs, this is why that's happening. Language, the five elements, some say six if you include Akasha. But the language will mirror what's happening spiritually. And so, if you're somebody who wants to be able to be more in tune to what's happening spiritually by learning the language, and so just hearing the names and the places, you can see how astrology truly does. It doesn't dictate what happens, but it is a mirror for the energy that is permeating the planet. Okay. So this era, however, is using Uranus and Jupiter, which is fire air energy, to atomize it. This is alchemy happening through the astrology. All right. So the old egregores, they cannot sustain themselves anymore, not in this energy that we've been in. Actually, since the 2024 eclipse, which was the last eclipse of slavery. That 2024 April eclipse portal ended the contracts that was created during slavery, including all the other redlining and stuff that was done using legal jargon. See, that's sorcery, y'all. That's spell work. So even for people who don't identify as being a magician, everything in this world happens because of spells. You can't even speak without speaking a spell. All language, all spelling is a spell. And everything that you do every day is a ritual. So there's no such thing as a disconnect between spirituality. It's just an illusion that there is a disconnect that the 3D matrix creates so that the people who are spiritually packing, I'm talking about packing, feel small, feel too busy, don't feel good enough, and feel overwhelmed by this thing called life. Because 3D, we're not used to that. We old souls. We might not remember what all happened in our past lives, but we know we old souls. And it can feel really heavy sometimes. Life can feel really heavy, and it can be hard because you can find yourself being envious of people who seem like they're moving through life with more flow and less heaviness and be like, damn, I want some of that. Can I get some of that? And so this is what I teach. Everything that I teach, the premise and the purpose is for upliftment. Okay, so I hope that y'all feeling that. Now, this is going to be messy. I'm going to be honest with you. It's finna get a little messier. This is a breakdown to break through. Okay? Wars will be continuing to happen. And it's usually over something that's related to digital territory now. So you see how it moved from just the physical into the digital territory, which is the territory of the ethers. It's the territory of the air, which is why I mentioned nine ether in the title of this. Because if you are a nine ether being, then the coiling of your hair turns you into a stronger antenna. The EU melanin within your body and your brain turns you into an amplifier and a transducer. Now, I will be teaching more on the engineering of human anatomy from a metaphysical quantum physics um, angle, breaking down the frequencies and how to identify which type of soul are you. Because it's not just one type of soul, it's more than one type of soul, depending on what you study. But a lot of the information that I'm getting is coming from my lucid dreams because I'm going to classes in my lucid dreams. This is how I created my entire business. The 2 million views on my YouTube channel is all because of me teaching things from my dreams. Okay. So when I find stuff in books that align with what I learned in my dreams, it's really beautiful because I'm getting it from the Akash. Okay. I'm not getting it from the books. But I do use the books to help teach this and bring it together. So I will be teaching y'all more about this because if you don't understand what having a digital twin means as far as its ability to manipulate your energy field, you're not going to be able to have control over what's happening in your life. That was a big statement. I was not expecting to say that to y'all. Okay. Wow. I okay, anyway, let me resist the urge to channel. So, with that being said, melanin, EU melanin, because of its strong conductive properties and its capacity to withstand high heat, it's being used in our devices. Okay? It's being used in our devices. Quartz is not the only thing being used in the devices. Okay, EU melanin is just as useful, if not more, than quartz in these devices. Now, I taught this in War on Consciousness Part 1, 2, and 3. If you were not around for that time, you missed out. It was so good. All three of those got removed and deleted from everywhere they were online. But I taught about this and went really deep. And I have yet to teach something that has been found to be inaccurate. So yeah, I'm a bit of a menace to the matrix. So I'm gonna be teaching more about your digital twin and how to protect your digital twin. Your digital twin needs protection. I know this probably is the first time you ever heard somebody say this, but it makes sense to you. And I'm gonna give you one word that will make it make sense if it don't. Sympathetic magic. Okay. So what's done to an image or version of you can absolutely impact you. This is not us giving power to somebody else. This is acknowledging the powers that have not been accessible to us because the knowledge was forbidden and hidden away from us until now. Okay, so even though we're going to see all of these issues over digital territory, digital borders, digital technology, the soul of humanity is being given an opportunity to be more telepathic. So we're going to have two versions of Earth and two versions of people. Some people will be a part of the technological hive mind singularity, and some people will be a part of the spiritual awakening oneness. It's called the law of oneness, the law of Ra. Okay. So we're going to have two sets of main groups of people: the ones who rely on technology and the ones who rely on the inner technology. So whenever you have a lot of EU melanin being used in the technology, that automatically creates a correlation in our morphogenic field with the technology. So some of the emotional dysregulation is not because of past traumas. Some of the emotional dysregulation is because we're tethered to the technology. And this is why you must use cord cuttings and different revocations to protect your digital twin and to be able to cut the energetic cord between you and technology. Another word for this in physics would be quantum entanglement. So, sympathetic magic and quantum entanglement are the same thing. Okay, so everything that's being created right now is being created from ancient information. So, none of this is really new. Data centers aren't new. The way that they're setting them up is dangerous in different ways as far as pollution and things like that, the noise, the way that they're doing it, in my opinion, is a little barbaric. Okay, but we've done this before in the land of Mu, the land of Lemuria, the land of Atlantis, and previous civilizations. Okay, we did not originate on Earth. We came here, but there was a lot of star knowledge that came with us. But with each incarnation, we were given amnesia. And so we're just now remembering things from past lives. Okay, which is why I'm going to give past life readings probably starting in November. Because November, we're going to see a huge uptick in a lot of things that I've been predicting. I still got videos being taken down to this day, y'all. The video that I did on cyclosporia got took down. The video that I did showing a dream that I had in 2012 manifested in 2026 with this new STD, it got took down. And you got to wonder why these videos are being taken down. If I'm just another fluke, fake, snake oil selling, wannabe magician, spiritual community, teacher, oracle, whatever. If I'm fake and my information is inaccurate, why do my videos get taken down? And I've posted screenshots of what the claim is used to take down my videos. Things like nudity, stuff that don't even make sense. So I'm saying that to say when you find a real one, we usually have the stories that match. Okay. So I'm not here to waste anybody's time or mine. It is precious. I showed up today to give y'all this information. And before I close out, I will say this. We're going to rise above this. The frequency hertz of pride is around about 175. The frequency hertz around acceptance is 350. So if you could just shift to accepting you for who you are, flaws and all, nobody is perfect. We all have something that we want to improve and work on. But true acceptance is being able to see what you don't like and have compassion for it. That is the practice. All of the spiritual, intellectual talk that excites people and get a whole lot of views. The 3D matrix is manipulating these numbers. That way, if y'all see a video got 14 views, you're more likely to skip past it for most of us, including me. But sometimes you have to stop and say, wait a minute, because this digital world is based on an illusion. It's a simulated reality. It's a holographic reality. Is it possible that people who are really making information that is really worthy, is it possible that they're putting lower numbers on that content so that more people won't watch it, so that our vibration frequency will not go up to 528 hertz? Okay. Now, let me fix this puzzle, y'all, because if I don't do this puzzle, they not going to let me stay on here. So let me do this puzzle, and I'm going to give y'all a few more minutes before I go. Look like I saw a question pop up. I'm going to address the question if there is one there. Um, but let me say this. The eclipse is the spotlight, okay? So if it's something that you haven't been able to see or too uncomfortable to look at, it's probably going to come out. The meteors are the sparks, they're the seeds of the cosmos. Whenever meteors move through the noosphere. The noosphere is like the auric field around Mother Earth. She has more than one auric field. Okay. It's like of Russian dolls. It's one inside the other, inside the other, inside the other. Okay. Um, so with these meteor showers coming through here, there's a lot of plasma, consciousness, cosmic, celestial energy moving through, being made available to us, y'all. Know that you are the main character, even when you don't feel like it. You are the chosen one. You truly are the soul that's here. And I had to accept something today. Because I'm going to be honest, I had plenty of opportunities to take paths and places that would have taken me into what we would call celebrity status. And something would always happen, and I would end up getting out of contracts and record deals, and something would happen, and it wouldn't fall through. And I'm pretty sure that there are other people who will listen to this video and have a similar story, whether it was through sports or music or whatever. There were opportunities that presented themselves to you, and maybe you got injured, or you got pregnant, or you got a job, or something would happen and you just wouldn't be able to go through with it. And I think a lot of people that find my content because we share a similar resonance, that's probably true for you too, where you could have been the next so and so, or you could have done so and so. And sometimes it can be confusing because you be moving through life feeling like you're not important. Sometimes you can move through life and feel like, damn, it don't even seem like the universe give a fuck about me right now. Like, damn, when it rain, it pours. Oh, shit just keep happening. Sometimes life can just feel flat. Sometimes you can just feel numb. Sometimes you feel apathy. You just don't feel as excited as you used to. The first day of school come for the kids, and you just like it's just another first day of school. It just life just starts to lose its spark. Things don't feel the same, and this is a side effect of going through a spiritual awakening. This is a side effect of the ego death that I've been talking about. It's meant to be a rebirth, not a death. Okay, so when the false self start dying, all of the illusions and the perspectives and the stories that was keeping it alive die with it. You don't want all of this to happen in one day. Be grateful that shit is happening every day, every other day, or however it's happening for you. That's great. That means that you're actually gaining ground. Okay? If everything goes your way, I would be concerned. Because we're not here to have a walk through, the flowers every day. We're meant to experience the fullness of life, because remember that diamond that I talked about, that's the light body. The light body looks like a diamond. And so you're multifaceted, you're multidimensional, but that needs fuel, and the fuel for that is life and the things that happen. So what if we just shifted our frequency and not be worried about what's happening outside of us on our feed, because it's trying to feed us some shit, because it knows that we are important souls. And so if life is making you feel small, useless, unproductive in any way, I just need you to know that that's confirmation of who the fuck you are, and that you are remembering who you are. Because if you wasn't remembering, the 3D matrix wouldn't be perceiving you as a threat, and wouldn't be constantly just putting NPCs and people that say hurtful things and just putting shit in your path and shit not working out for you. I need you to know that you can't always control what's happening outside of you, but you can always choose the meaning that you assign to it. Now, this conversation that you're getting right now is the type of stuff that people make a lot of money off of. And I really don't even, I haven't been to a lot of those types of events, but I can assume when they charging $600 for a ticket that they got to be dropping knowledge like this and wisdom to be able to navigate life. But I'm doing this for free right now because that's just how much I believe in the souls that are going to find this video. So I need you to know that you are the main character. And as hard as something or someone is trying to make you believe that you are not, just let that be a reminder that you are important and that you do matter. Affirm yourself. Reassure yourself 24/7. All right? 24/7. Always affirm and reassure yourself. Always. And when other people stop doing it, when people stop acknowledging the effort that you give, when people seem like they're not appreciating the effort that you give, it's not gonna really phase you because you fill your cup up with it so much that it really don't hurt as much when others don't. That's the key to being resilient without being cold. Okay? So use this window consciously. Choose love as your frequency, not just a sentiment, but a physical embodiment. Neurologically, you shift your nervous system when you need to. Know that you are rewriting DNA. All of those negative experiences from slavery is melting. And they don't want us to know that it's melting. So they're doing things to remind us of what our ancestors went through, what we went through in past lives to try to keep us in check. But we're on a different version of Earth now. So the way magic used to work no longer works that way anymore. Now things are moving in the favor of those who choose love, not those who choose hate. If you want to know how to connect with me, all my links is in the bio. Shout out to each and every one of you that watched this video to the end. You know, shout out to everybody who gave hearts and liked the live. The gifts, I accept donations as well, y'all. Remnants Gathering is my cash app if you want to send a donation for this message today. I have ebooks. I write ebooks for men and women where you could study yourself, and I give you exactly what you need to do it in a really simple way that's not time consuming. I have Patreon, which has hundreds of content that you cannot find anywhere else because for some reason, I don't know. I don't know. What is it? Again, obviously, something that I'm saying is accurate because why am I going through the things that I go through? So all of that is on Patreon, y'all. Y'all can get all of that there. You get discounts there. You get freebies there. But my coven, that's like my space for me and my sisters. And we hold each other down. We hold each other accountable and we encourage one another. If that is something that is of interest to you, that link is also in my bio. And for those of y'all that just want to be bumping some music, to release negativity, to respect my energy, to protect my peace for your ancestors. I have a song for honoring people that you lost, that you loved as well. When I tell you, when you play that song, they will come and visit you if they need to. Like that song, I wrote that song right after I lost a dear sister of mine's and I had not put it out. And I finally put it out. That's there. I have an Age of Aquarius song to activate this Aquarian energy. Like, y'all, when I tell you I went all the way in, I released 10 songs in the numerological year of the 10. So it also holds the energy of being able to step into a new timeline. So that's everything that I have, most of it, everywhere I am. And just go and eat it up, y'all. Eat it up, take it with you. Be beautiful. Don't let nothing make you feel like you're not important. Remember this.